And welcome back. We're on to game number 3 of this best of 3 series for DreamHack. Group B in the group of death. And we are going to have a quick game here. It already looks like we're tied 1-1. We've had 2 pretty close matches. Very even skilled players between the two of them. JYP already moving out across the map with this probe. He's got something early game planned, and more than likely it's going to be some proxy gateways. We're going to have a little bit of an early game micro fest today. Now, it will come down to whether or not Polt versus Polt. JYP versus Polt. Polt's his opponent up here, guys. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm getting confused because JYP also plays Polt in this group, and I got PVT on the mind. Anyways, will Polt be able to deal with this early game pressure? It's looking like he is not going to go for a command center first, so that is a very lucky choice for him there. Now, command center first at this point wouldn't be the end of the world, especially built it up here on the high ground, but it definitely would make things a lot harder. So we'll see a second gateway popping up here for JYP in just a second. Chrono boosting out some workers and throwing up gas on top of this. This is interesting. I'm very interested to see what he's going to do here now. Is he going to... You know, I was expecting it to be double gateway, just like some really early game cheese, but it's looking like he wants to get up to Stalkers and hiding a gateway over here for some unknown reason. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. He's going to have enough to make a Zealot and a... Okay, yeah, a Zealot and a Cybernetics core, so... He's going to Chrono Boost out this guy, but, I mean, he's going to be able to accomplish very much. For one, because did he just see that? I don't think he saw that. But he's going to scout down here, which isn't going to be... Might get lucky and just see the edge of that, but it doesn't look like it. So this Zealot's going to come up here, harass this Reaper, but the Reaper can, you know, micro that Zealot all day long. That's not really an issue. A second SCV being sent out now. Going to build a command center. So this Zealot will just delay that a small bit. The Reaper's still planning on going down here. He'll probably come over here and kill this probe first. So he did... Oh, he actually gets on the command center. It's not really that big of a deal because he can just build it over here and fly it over here later. So, you know, it's just blocking command center for a Terran player isn't that huge of a deal. But he tricked him anyways. He got it out. So a Stalker coming in now. The Reaper decides not to scout. Oh my god, he doesn't scout down there. He would have walked straight into that Reaper and he would have known everything that's going on. He's actually getting a reactor, which is huge because that means obviously he can't make any units. The Reaper decides to turn around after he scouts. His opponent doesn't really have anything over here. He sees there's no Nexus, and this Stalker and this Zealot can run rampant in Polt's base. One SCV already down. He doesn't even have a wall off. The reactor, oh my god, that thing cannot finish fast enough. These things feel like they take forever to build when you're not under pressure like this. Both a Stalker and a Zealot inside your base. He's forced to pull all of these SCVs. At the same time, the command center here, halfway built, being completely useless. Another Stalker comes into the mix. This Zealot is kind of just running for its life from all those SCVs. Gets a couple shots in on that Reaper, and that may be just enough for these Stalkers to go in there and finish the job. If they get lucky, they might be able to run in there and get a pot shot. Yes, they get the 2 shots on the Reaper. It goes down. The 2 Stalkers are microing their hearts out. This bunker needs to get done for Polt to be able to have a beachhead here outside of his natural. And it looks like it's just about to finish, but at what cost? Oh god. It seems like you cannot say that phrase without it sounding cheesy. It's just like such a funny cheesy phrase. At what cost? Anyways, 2 more Marines being built. He's even adding a tech lab here on this barracks. He's feeling pretty confident. He's got 3 Marines down here. But JYP not giving up. He's giving up. He was like, I got this, I got this. Nope. There's a bunker there. Turning around. So the whole time this has been going on, he still hasn't seen there isn't anything down here, but after scouting out his opponent's base, seeing absolutely nothing, he's got to be fairly certain that there's going to be some buildings down there. And the second Polt gets map control, he can just run down here, kill the Cybernetics core, and that can be a pretty big deal if he catches JYP in the middle of some type of much-needed Stalker or Sentry production that he might need. But anyways, 2 barracks up for Polt, throwing down some stem, so... But we have a Mothership core, 2 Stalkers, got a soft contain outside this base here. They can easily run away whenever they feel like it. This Mothership core will allow high ground vision, so these Stalkers can kind of poke up to the high ground if any Marines come in vision. but they're keeping their distance, and at the same time that barracks is also back far enough to deal with that. So one SCV trying to get across the map to see what's going on. He has seen that, okay, he hasn't seen that there's an expansion there, so that's one thing he definitely wants to keep an eye on. But he's even sending out another SCV. I wonder where this guy's going to. Okay, he's just going to take the long way, checking out the third. You know, at this point is Polt, you want to know, is he going to all in me? And scouting out an expansion is definitely the most important factor that you can scout out in a situation like this, because if they're throwing up an expansion, you know they're going to not all in you off of one base. Nevertheless, we've got some Dark Templars coming up here for JYP, and he's throwing her right there at the ramp. That's the oddest place I've ever seen for a Dark Templar, right up the ramp of your natural. That's funny. Normally players are like, oh, I'm gonna hide way back down here, or, I don't know, over here somewhere, or somewhere like, oh, I don't know, across the map. But no, JYP's like, I'm gonna put it in the most obvious location, and he could have actually seen that if he scouted up that ramp. But he didn't. I actually don't think he did. No, he didn't. If he would have went up here instead of over here, he would have scouted out that Dark Shrine. But, man, look at this Polt just throwing SCVs into the fire pit here. I think that's like he was sending that guy out. I think he lost 3 of them, but he finally got one over there to his opponent's base. And this guy's going back out too. He only sees 2 Stalkers, so he's got to feel pretty confident at this point. There's no all-in coming. Only seeing 2 Stalkers, of course, is good. DT being warped in already at the proxy pylon he's got set up. And this guy's going to walk in here. Is there enough for a scan at the natural? There's not enough at the main. There is enough. He has enough for an engineering bay, or he actually has an engineering bay. No missile turrets yet. Stimmed Marines Marauders going to take out these Stalkers. Yes, one goes down. The second one probably won't go down. At the same time, DTs are hacking away at the natural. 3 kills on this guy. The rest of the SCVs running for the life. At the same time, the natural, this guy getting 2 kills in before being forced to run. He's got enough for 1 scan. 1 scan goes down. 1 Dark Templar dies. The other Dark Templar is just having fun, taking a couple SCVs down, killing 2 SCVs it looks like here while they're building supply depots. Okay, actually there's enough for the 2nd scan, and both of those fall. So he did manage to rack up, whoa, he's got 20 worker kills so far. Those DTs got a lot of worker kills. That's quite a bit. On top of that, he forced some lost mining time. He forced 2 missile turrets. And at this point, those missile turrets are going to be largely, actually, was it 2? I guess he canceled the other one. Or maybe he'd never even started the second one. Okay, at least forced at least 1 missile turret, which will be, I mean, useful if he keeps making Dark Templars, but more than likely he won't. He'll just use DTs for defense, maybe drop harass if he feels like it in the main, or just turn them into Templar Archons. So already working on his +2 armor upgrades, another gateway being produced. He's got Charge on the way, working on some Templar Archives once he gets some Storm into the mix. Factory, slowly scouting out his opponent. A lot of proxy pylons all across the map for JYP. He's definitely been doing this quite a bit, and I think it's a very good trait to show in a Protoss player. Gives you map control, scouts out possible medevac drops, gives you early locations to reinforce if you get in a strange fight position. So a couple more barracks being added in to Polt's army. Medevacs being produced. Still hasn't set up a 3rd, pushing out across the map now. It looks like a 3rd is close to being built by JYP, just looking for the opportunity. JYP running out there like he was going to go for a fight, and I think he could have taken that. He's got Charge on his Zealots, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's got Charge. I'm pretty sure he could have shredded that army. Doesn't have Blink, though. He'll get a free pylon kill out of this and a probe. And probably just pick up out of there. There's too many forces here from JYP. If he fights this is going to be bad news for Polt. He does pick up, but he, of course, lost looks like a Marauder and 2 medevacs, or sorry, a Marauder and 2 Marines there. So let's just check. Nope, didn't lose a Marauder. 4 Marines are dead. I could have swore he killed a Marauder. I guess he just got picked up in that medevac so quickly. So that's a lot of Zealots out. You know, Zealots are a pretty scary thing whenever you're going Marine medevac bio. Seeing that many Zealots with Charge with +2 armor, that's something you gotta be wary of. And JYP pushing his luck, seeing how close he can actually get with those proxy pylons to his opponent's base. He's like, I'll just keep pushing a little closer. Has he seen this? He's seen this. Okay, finally going to kill at the 13-minute and 30-second mark. He's finally going to take out the Warp Gate, take out the Cybernetics Core, slow this down. This army here from Polt could be picked off. Actually, Scratchy's going to get him some great high Templar kills. 1, 2, 3. Going to go down, get a 4th one. No, forces a lot of storms, even some time warps, throwing down some... Oh my god, throwing out some force fields. What a great pick off there by Polt. He's got to be feeling so good. This has just put a huge, hamper on JYP's army. That's just going to cut out all those storms he could possibly have there. Not only that, but he knows the army's coming. He can prepare for it. He's got the wall up, already has the supply depots raised. He is not waiting around for his opponent to get to him before he prepares. And these guys are just kind of chilling out here. They need to get picked up. Ah, nope. Looks like 2 Marines. Ragdoll died down there and a Marauder died. But look at this. Already has SCVs to repair. That's a huge amount of Zealots. He wants to break through this wall, and he does with the Swarm on top of all the SCVs repairing the bunker. Zealots chasing back those Marines and Marauders. They're up against the wall now. Zealots here at the natural. Zealots killing everything. It seems like there's just a lot of Zealots in here with this armor upgrade. 2 armor, 1 attack upgrade. Polt's forced to lift. At the same time, we have a drop. Actually, not a drop, just a push from Polt up here at the natural. Not going to accomplish too much, but JYP pushing his way into Polt's base, even with this forward, with the early scouting, with the being able to pick off 3 High Templar. JYP just shoves his way into Polt's base. 2 great storms there on the high grounds, weakening up those units. These Zealots just waiting for another charge attempt. For Time Warp going down there on the high ground. He doesn't have a wall up here, unfortunately. He just has that 1 supply depot on that barracks in position. But this is looking like JYP's game to lose at this point. There's just Zealots everywhere. There's not enough production to deal with this. JYP with just a huge amount of Zealots. Polt drops a GG, and JYP takes this 3rd game. Wow, and this that was a really that's okay. I was talking about how scary charge lots are, and that was a charge lot army if I've ever seen one. I mean, Polt killed 3 High Templar, force fields, forced a time warp, saw it 30 seconds in advance, and it wasn't enough to deal with that many Zealots just flooding into his base with those 2 armor upgrades, with that +1 attack upgrade. And I think Polt was only sitting on 1 attack upgrade, so huge benefit there from JYP for the upgrades. But Polt had timing on his side, he had knowledge of it, he had positioning, he had his SCVs on position to repair. But I guess he just needed that 1 storm to kill all those SCVs, and the repair wall fell, and that was it. The flood of Zealots came in, and that was all she wrote. JYP takes this series 2-1 versus Polt. Thank you guys for watching. You can follow more of my stuff at youtube.com/EonShiKeno. Most of my StarCraft content comes out on Mondays. I've got DayZ/Arma3 stuff out on Tuesdays. Hearthstone videos of my arena run come out on Friday and Saturday. So that's just kind of my schedule at the moment. If you guys if you're interested in any of those games, check those out. That's it for me. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.